It all started with a chance meeting at the Zwolle show in Holland. I got talking to Gary Benny, an expat who's now lived in Sweden for over 10 years. And the main thing was going over to do a talk for the Swedish Carp group later in the year. Yeah, I was more than willing to go over and do a talk for the group, but of course the conversation also turned to fishing and getting the rods out for a few days. So plans were set in motion and the time came to load up the van and head on the long journey north to Sweden. Well, that is one drive I wouldn't want to do too many times again. Roadworks and traffic jams in Germany were a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Probably held us up 2 or 3 hours. A little diversion in Denmark that shouldn't have happened. Set the sat-nav and we was heading towards the ferry, and we should have been heading towards, I think it's called the Øresund Bridge. The bridge is fantastic. It joins Denmark and Sweden, and it's about 16 kilometres long, and God, it's great. That was great views. And it got us to Sweden, so here we are on a fantastic lake, big one, 140, 150 acres, crystal clear water, a wild lake with wild carp in it, not loads of them, but I've seen some pictures. They are long, dark, scaly, stunning mirrors mainly. So hopefully, just fingers crossed, I can get my hands on 1 or 2 of those. Haven't got a lot of time on this one. We'll be moving on to at least 1 other, maybe 2 other lakes while we're here. So yeah, 3, maybe 4 nights on here, so I've got to make the most of my time. So I'm going to get the rods out, get fishing, and see if I can catch one of these lovely fish. Well, this is absolutely beautiful. Can't remember the name of the lake actually, but yeah, it's a cracker. It is absolutely lovely. I'm just going over to, well, into a bay actually. There's quite a few pads along the edge, but they don't stretch out too far. A lot of reeds on the outline, and apparently there's some crayfish here, certainly a lot of little roach and bream, so I've gone for big hook baits. I've got a double 24mm hook bait on here, so that'll cover me for all of those things hopefully. Double scopelet squid, 24mm, nice big size 2 claw, 6-ounce inline lead. It might have been a hell of a drive to get here, but now we're here. It's lovely. I'm just sort of feeling my way here. Not very deep. Yeah, just a bit of weed there, so I'm just a little bit too close. Yeah, there we go. You see that? You see all the weed. I just want to come back and miss that, get off the end of that. Interested to see what sort of weed it is. There's a mixture of weeds there. It's like an eel grass, a bit of potamogeton, a few pads down there as well, so there is a bit there. But you come back so far. Yeah, you don't have to come back far. I'm off the end of it there. That feels good, so I'm going to drop that just there. Yeah, clean as a whistle that. Lovely. Baiting up with 20s and 24s. Not loads, but I want a bit of bait around, obviously. A few big 24s. Spread a few around. Well, that's it really. Hopefully that'll get me a fish. It'd be lovely to get a fish out of this place. It's not a country renowned for its carp fishing like all the others I normally visit. These are wild lakes, wild fish, but they're beautiful fish. So that's the reason. I just want to catch one of these nice Swedish scaly fish that they're so famous for. Don't have to be big, but just fishing here. I mean, it's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's scenic, and we're the only ones here fishing. It's absolutely beautiful. Fantastic place. First morning in Sweden, and quiet night. Had a good night's sleep, and God, needed it and all. That was a drive and a half. Don't want to do that too many times, but it was all worth it, because this morning, just a little while ago, it absolutely blitzed off, and I was struggling to get my waders on, so there was no chance of trying to grab a camera. But got my first Swedish carp, and it's an absolute beauty. It really is. You know, Sweden is about scaly mirrors, and that was what I wanted. Just look at that. That is a big scaly Swedish mirror. 3412. What a lovely fish for my first one. Came on a great big double 24mm bottom bait. Out in the shallowest one, actually, out in the bay on the edge of the pads. Oh, well, I came here hoping for one of these, so everything's a bonus after this. But yeah, a long way north, but this is why I came here. This is what's up here. Lovely, dark, scaly mirrors. What an absolute cracker. Well pleased with this one. And it's only the first morning. Only got a few days here before moving on, but well, job done, got one. Happy days. Well, I've been told that the big one likes it in this little bay. I mean, it is a lovely little bay in here, and it has been caught in around here before, so it hasn't been caught many times, so it's certainly worth dropping a bait in here. That looks lovely actually. Alright, deeper than what I thought. So from tip to lead. Oh actually yeah, that's got to be 7 foot at least. That's actually really nice. Bit firmer there. Oh. Oh shit, what have I done? I've hooked a pike or something here. Oh dear, I thought I'd hit a rock there. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's only little and all. Oh well. First Swedish pike. I'm sure there's some out there that are a lot bigger than you. Oh, well, another absolutely gorgeous fish, lovely mirror. Came in darkness, this one, and so I've had him in the sack for a couple of hours, and even in that little time it's amazing the swan mussel shells, snail shells that he's left in the sack. Shows what he feeds on naturally. But last night he was feeding on scopeback squid, thankfully, and he is another absolutely gorgeous fish. I mean, these Swedish carp, this is what I was hoping to see, something like this, because I've seen pictures of them before and they are beautiful fish, and yeah, that's what it is. It's a beautiful carp. 2612 this one, long lean fighting machine, same rod actually as the first one, so they like it out there. But yeah, what a lovely carp, eh? Oh, don't mind driving miles and miles and miles when you catch fish like this at the end of it. Wow. Wow, blimey, what a job. But we've got him, and look at that. Another Swedish beauty. Phew. Smallest one of the lot, this one. 19 pound, just under 20, but no less pretty than the others. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, God, dream of fish like this, don't we? Same rod actually, all three fish on the same rod. So now I've put all my rods over to them pads because, well, it was a battle and a half this one, wasn't it? Job getting the boat out, tangled around the pads, and then the fish was in the pads when I got over there. But even getting this one out, I could see other fish in amongst the reeds and the pads. So yeah, I've put my other rods over in the same sort of area now, along that strip of pads and reeds. And hopefully there'll be more fish, you know, like this to come. Because, oh, it's lovely, isn't it? It's just lovely catching fish like this. Gorgeous mirrors, long dark scaly mirrors. Yeah, beautiful. It was fantastic fishing, and it wasn't too long before I had another screaming run. Unfortunately, this one didn't go all to plan. Oh. Come off. But despite that earlier loss, the lake did have one more surprise for me before we had to pack up and leave. Well, lovely misty autumn morning. I love these mornings this time of year. A little bit chilly, but very atmospheric and just peaceful and chilled. Unlike the carp that I've got here. He's been a bit crazy, so I don't know what he's going to be like. But last morning here, be packing up soon and moving on to our next venue, so it's nice to have one to finish up with. Well, we've still got time actually. We've had a bite every morning between 8:30 and sort of 10 o'clock, so we've got that to come yet. So this may not be the last one, but a cracking, God, mad hard fighting, beautiful mirror again. 27.5 pound. Lovely dark, not quite as scaly as the other ones, but still scaly, and absolutely beautiful, like they all have been. Whew, 3 o'clock this one came, and yeah, God, it went on some absolutely mad runs, really did, stripping line off the reel. And yeah, like most of these fish in here, they hardly ever been caught, so they're very wild, but they're fantastic fish. God, only been a few days here, but it's been absolutely brilliant. I was just hoping to see one or two of these fish, and you know, I've seen a few now, so I've been sort of blessed, because it's definitely not an easy lake. You know, everyone who's fished here has told me the same thing, that it can be a very difficult lake. So, you know, right place, right time for me by the looks of it. And I've been lucky, got a few nice ones. But there we go. time to move on to pastures new. Get this one back, getting the gear down. But yeah, more nice ones to come at other places, hopefully. But here we are, job done on here. And so it was time to move on, but not before we had the chance to see some of the local wildlife, and in particular the one animal that we really wanted to see in Sweden, of course the moose. Beautiful, majestic animals for sure. And then it was on to our next destination, a lake that we had heard a lot about, especially from Ollie and Alan Blair, as they had fished it the previous year, the lovely, beautiful Harga Lake. Well, we've moved on now. We've driven about 4.5 hours south of where we were. Shame really, I was catching good fish on that lake. It would have been nice to have stayed a few days more. But saying that, we've turned up at an absolutely amazing lake here, Lake Harga. And it's absolutely beautiful. And probably as you can hear, it's so quiet and peaceful. Going to enjoy this, I think. But it is slightly different fishing. It's all casting here, there's no boats. So I've got to change all my rods over now from braid to mono, so it's going to be a bit of a job. Change rigs, smaller leads, soft silty bottom here, so need smaller leads so they don't plug in so much. And it sounds like it's a bit of a stalking lake as well. We, in the daytime, sort of move around the other side of the lake with spread rods out. Not sure if that's a bit of me, I don't know if we'll be doing that, but some lovely spots literally just from where we're plotted up here. Islands out there, channels in between, and it all looks very carpy and very nice. We're the only ones on the lake, so it's absolutely beautiful. I'd say very, very peaceful. And yeah, we've got a few days here now before moving on to yet another venue at the end. So yeah, I'm going to get these rods sorted out, get some baits out and get fishing. First take, just missed it actually getting on film. God, absolute screaming take, burnt my finger on the spool. between the islands out there. Excellent. That's it, go away from them pads. Oh, it's getting a bit tricky, this one. Yes, gotcha. Whew. First Harga carp. Yeah, got the rods out about midday. We had a good kip last night after the journey. We were so tired, really were. No chance of any stalking, but did get the rods out on likely looking spots in the channels between the islands, and yeah, we got one. Quite an unusual one from what I've seen of Swedish carp. Not so many scales on it, but lovely fish anyway. Well pleased with that. 24-12. Went absolutely hammering off. Burnt me finger on the spool. It went off so fast. But yeah, good start anyway. First day on the lake. New lake, beautiful lake. This is absolutely stunning. Literally just got this one in the net and the heavens open. Huge thunderstorm, but it all happened just in time. We stayed dry and we got a fish. Well, quite night, had a good sleep. I mean, it's so silent and dark here that yeah, it's just lovely. It is absolutely lovely, so peaceful. And then yeah, just as the sun was coming up, off it went again, same rod, and a beautiful fish. Lovely dark, some very nice sort of distinctive scales down its lateral line. But an absolute cracker. 27.5. I mean, yeah, they are really solid fish. You can feel the weight of them when you lift them up, but they don't look as big as what they actually are, if you know what I mean. They're really solid, chunky fish, but absolutely lovely. Few more days here. This is lovely. I'm enjoying it here. So peaceful and quiet. Well, it was a quiet night last night, and God, these mushrooms around here are amazing. Loads of massive, great big things. But yeah, it was a quiet night last night, and although we could sit there and I think fish will be passing through, Jonas did suggest it's worth having a go at the other end, and I'm sure it is. A few people have said that during the day, afternoon especially, they like to sit up near the dam wall up at the far end. So here we go, got the scopes, sling landing net, chair, just a few bits. None of these rods need to be far out. Yeah, nice little drop on that actually. Last one. It was just nice down by these reeds. So. Again, it's not very deep there, none of these places are very deep. Well, I've been here 4.5 hours now, and there's definitely fish here. There's one just jumped. I don't know if you can see the fizz out there on the surface. Just jumped over a rod I've got on the dam wall there. But I said I'd give it till 4 o'clock, and it's reached that sort of point now. I'll try and hang on for a minute. But while I've been up here blanking away, down the other end Jones had her first Swedish carp. So I'm going to have to get back there soon. Take the pickies. Well done, Joan, that's brilliant news. Wanted her to catch one, so she's got one. Hopefully, a few minutes left, I can just nick one up here. They've definitely been up here. I've seen a few fish show. It's looked good, but I just haven't really given it enough time, I suppose. But there we go, it's been fun. There we go, your first Swedish carp.
Yes.
Race back round to film this for you. There we go, 17.5 pound. Lovely Harga carp. There we go.
Right. Lovely, put it back.
Well, nice early morning surprise, first common of the trip. Actually had a strange cut off in the night. I think it must have been a pike, because I had a few bleeps and then it all fell slack. And it was literally just cut off, so that was a bit weird. But then, well, 7 o'clock just now, left hand rod rattled off, and there we go, not a big one, but first common of the trip, so a nice one. Very pretty, looks like it's never been caught before, and probably hasn't actually. But yeah, there we go. And so it was time to move on for one last time. Unfortunately, the last venue we fished, I wasn't allowed to do any filming on there, but on the very last morning, I did manage to catch one more beautiful scaly Swedish mirror. After a great day with the Swedish carp group, it was time to hit the road again, so we made our way down to the ferry that would connect us up with mainland Europe once more, and the start of our long journey back home. But what a great trip it had been. We'd fished some lovely waters, caught some absolutely fantastic fish, and made some brilliant new friends. Memories that will last forever, but for the time being, it was time to head home.